What's up, people? Uncle Hotep back at it again. How y'all doing, YouTube? Um, I got talk. It's been a couple days. I seen this news, and I didn't immediately speak on it right away. I wanted to let it marinate and see which way the winds were blowing. But as soon as I read it, I knew I was going to do a video on it. Jay Z, Jigga, Jigga. You know what I mean? Hove, um, self-proclaimed greatest rapper of all time, which I dispute, and I dispute considerably. He's a lot of people's favorite rapper, probably one of the most well-known rappers. I think he's kind of overrated, to be honest with you. But I mean, he's considerably still skilled. But I mean, he's not my top. Not Sears Jones and Joe Budden in my top. But it's a different. I'm not gonna have a rap discussion right now. Jay Z and the Weinstein Company. Let me correct that. They're making a documentary series on Trayvon Martin. It goes on to say, I guess there were two books written. One by somebody covering the trial, and then two, somebody that was I think his mother co-wrote it, and someone else helped her. I guess helped her co-wrote a book. So there's two books that are written. Here are the names: Suspicion Nation: The Inside Story of Trayvon Martin Injustice and Why We Continue to Repeat It, and Rest in Power: The Enduring Life of Trayvon Martin. Um, I for one I didn't follow that trial. You know what I mean? I just watched OJ trial. I mean, Made in America documentary. And I do remember the OJ trial when I was coming up. I did actually follow that quite a bit. But this Trayvon trial, I didn't really follow it. I think I read it a little bit online about it. Um, but the whole situation, you know what I mean? Zim Zam can't. I see it on poll that everybody say can't flim flam the Zim Zam and Zim Man, all this other crazy stuff. It's unfortunate Trayvon lost his life, but I think he let himself be put in that situation. Um, I think Zimmerman obviously was stalking him, but I think my situation. This is what I think. I think he stalked him, but Trayvon reacted, and I don't know if he was getting the best of him, and Zimmerman had, but Zimmerman knew he had the hammer on him. So whether he provoked it, knowing he had the hammer on him or not, that's a different story. But in the law, in the law, they can. I mean, you can't prove that. So it's unfortunate, but I mean, you got sometimes you gotta move smarter. And as a Black American, I think you need to. You should have been taught that or anything else. But I'm not gonna get into. I mean, him not living at home and his mom living here, his dad living here, him living with his grandparents, and this, that, and the third. And he had, I don't know if he had what type of drugs he had in the system. That's just immaterial. I mean, the bigger story is Jay Z exploiting this man's life and just going to keep the narrative going. And this is how, I mean, quote unquote, they keep the racism narrative going. Whatever you thought about the trial, you have to realize this was probably the start of, like, I don't know if people want to say these racial relations are simmering or whatever, but this was really the start of this protest movement, and and actually the three women that started Black Lives Matter, they based it, they decided to start it off on because of Trayvon Martin. So this was this case where everybody thought it was wrong and everything like that. Like I said, I mean, I didn't really follow it, but I mean, it seemed like to me it was like, while legally it's probably legal. I mean, I hate to say this, someone killed somebody legal, but by the letter of the law, Zimmerman being not guilty was probably the right fucking verdict. But could have been avoided. Yeah, obviously. I mean, it seemed like Zim Zam had a fucking axe to grind. That's just my opinion. But Trayvon, I mean, I don't know. You got to, like I said before, you got to be smarter than that. But once again, we got the African American, the Akata, the Shine. Even though he's Jay-Z, he's still Shine, and he's gonna let these people exploit. And they're talking about legacies and all that. I mean, the man got killed, man. They're doing this just to keep this, they keep this racism narrative going and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want your son to be forgotten or anything like that, but it's terrible how they're doing it, and you know who always has to come in with the money. You know what I mean? They're not even stopping with this documentary series. They're gonna make a feature film off of it, and this is how things get distorted, man. You know what I mean? Then you can't, you don't know what's going to happen because people are going to see the movie and they'll see this documentary and be like, "Oh, that's what happened." Not listen to the court. This thing was this court case was on TV as well. No, not listen to all the facts, everything else. They're gonna just go with that and go with what happens in the movie. And you know the movie always twists the truth. Oh my gosh, this is very exploitive. Just like the Black Lives Matter women that started off with Trayvon Martin, that started their quote unquote Black Lives Matter group off that is kind of ill. You know what I mean? Jay-Z is also doing it. He's going to do an Emmett Till based on life and death. Like, I understand black folks, man, is sometimes get short end of the stick. You know what I mean? Especially Emmett Till, that was obvious short end of the stick. But you could look at any race and they'll have fucking excuse my language. They'll have events that are messed up. It just came to my mind. The dude, what, Mark Wahlberg? Like when he was growing up in Boston, he beat up some Asian dude just because he was Asian, and I think the Asian cat lost his eye and something like that. You know what I mean? So I mean, I wish that gets swept under the rug, but I'm just saying that's just an example that like bad stuff happens to everybody. You know what I mean? And I think when they use stories like this to keep the racism narrative going, and this is what holds. To be honest, it holds Black America back because I think you put too much energy into trying to quote unquote fight racism because you have to look at it this way. There's a guy up here, then here's Jay-Z, and the guy up here is using Jay-Z, using his name. You know what I mean? They were like, he's gonna get his shekels at the end of the day. He's gonna get his name. So the shine is only gonna see Jay-Z. Jay-Z's doing a Trayvon Martin documentary. You know what I mean? The shine is only going to see Jay-Z, but there's the guy up here who's using Jay-Z just so he can keep this narrative going. See, they're the ones going to keep the narrative going because the shine's going to see this and they'll get mad all over again and saying, oh man, see how the Zimmerman did us. I mean, never mind that Zimmerman's a Mexican. Hispanic. That's your own peoples. But then you're going to turn it into hating the white man again. The white man did this, white man did that. Instead of concentrating on yourselves, on ourselves, we're going to concentrate on an event that was unfortunate. It was terrible, and the young brother lost his life. I'm not saying Trayvon Martin was an angel. You know what I mean? I've seen plenty of stuff where he was an angel, but who is Angel? That's what kills me about people bring up. Oh, he was doing that. He had pictures of him holding the gun and all this. It's like, I'm not saying anybody, of course, but nobody's an angel. You know what I mean? Nobody. I don't know who is anybody. That doesn't mean he deserved to lose his life that day. Now, man, if he was hitting, if he If he was beating Zimmerman's ass, then what's Zimmerman gonna do? Just let him get beat to death? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes he had to shoot him. If that was the case. But it's exploiting by Jay-Z, man. That's just wrong. And him allowed to be used by that by them is a little kind of shaky, man. I mean, you know what? For him being the public eye, man, he's obviously been their boy for a while. You know what I mean? And that's why I really can't get down with him like that. But I mean, I know I respect his pen game in the rap world and stuff like that. But Jay-Z, you need to take a seat, man, dude. Like, instead of making these documentaries and movies about, and then they only focusing on but the main subject of these movies and documentaries are like racial related incidents. You're just doing more to like spur on. You're not trying to end racism or get us past racism, and that shouldn't even be our fight. Our fight should be to improve ourselves and improve our livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do other stuff like, man, making tech, like a tech institute and stuff like that. Do stuff like that. Like, leave this movies and stuff. You can make inspirational movies. You know what I mean? But movie like this, like, we all know what happened. It's like, this is what I keep telling people, man. Like, if you need a movie and stuff like that to know that the quote unquote the man's against you, then I mean, I don't know what to say. It's like we lived in two different Americas growing up. You already know the game. It's like y'all some of y'all get a little money and then forget where you came from. Just like the juice, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they got him. At the end of the day, they set him up. I just watched that OJ joint. That one dude set him up. Said, "Oh, this guy got all your memorabilia and stuff like that." And then went in there in the room and recorded it. Like, why would you go to get somebody's stuff back and you record it and then you sell it to TMZ for $100,000? See, at the end of the day, they still won't try to get you, man. So you just got to be woke, man, and forget all this, like trying to keep that fire going, because the guy up here is the one, like that's even a better analogy I just thought about. The guy up here is using the puppets, and they got Jay-Z as the puppet, and then we're watching the puppet orchestrate the shit. It's terrible. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. I likely won't be watching it. I don't know. Yeah, rest in peace to him, but Trayvon. But sometimes you just gotta look at people's deaths and look at it another way, not to exploit it for racial reasons, to keep that racial tension going, which is what's going to end up result of it. Peace.